We'll have an easy day today with the filler blocks of section 4. Hey everyone, Cristin here, and yesterday we did the bird and the mug of section 4, and some of us added on the cute little wording on the bird so that we could see how to do that in Embrilliance. So with these two blocks, we need our filler blocks. So that is going to be a very easy day for us today. We're just going to simply do 2 filler blocks. You can do them together, you can do them separate, whatever works for you, but they are the same size. Yep, same size, and they look pretty easy to do. So let's go over what we need for our easy day today. So our filler blocks are on page 55. Really, they're 54 and 55 of our Falling for Autumn quilt. So don't forget that if you haven't already jumped into this project, there's still plenty of time. Our sponsor is Daylily Fabric Shop. I will add a link here of where you can get the supplies from our sponsor, Daylily Fabric Shop. So we are having so much fun with this quilt, and it's coming together so cute. My favorite, so at first my favorite was those sweater blocks in section 1. Oh my gosh, I mean, they're just so pretty, absolutely beautiful, right? But then we did those house blocks and we personalized them, and so hard to decide because those are so cute. But then that truck block just blew me away. It was so cute, and it turns out that section 3 is just adorable with our personalizations. I really like how section 3 came out. That was really fun. So now we're on to section 4. Like I said, we did the bird and the mug so far. So we're just going to add to that by doing the filler blocks. So very simply, let's see if I wrote down what they are. So filler block number 8 is this brown, tan brown lattice fabric. All right. Orange pill lattice. I'm not sure what it's actually called, because if you look, I think the fabric is called lattice, but the embroidery, the quilting design that goes with it is called orange peel, and it's really the same thing. So I don't know what it's called. But anyway, so this is for number 8. So number 8, we are going to have, in the book, it'll say 4.5 by 4.5 for this fabric. So if you didn't do the prep video and you cut your fabric to 4.5 by 4.5, that will work. It's not a problem at all. It won't tack down though, and so you will need to tape it in place. But if you watched my prep video, then you saw that on the filler blocks, on most of them, not all, but on this one especially, it does say in the prep video that my recommendation is to cut this to 5 by 5. Then it will tack it down, and we will just trim it at the end because we'll already have those tack down lines. So it makes it really easy in my opinion. So my preference is 5 by 5 on this block number 8. But of course 4.5 by 4.5 will work. So whether you did the fabric larger, like I recommend at 5 by 5 or not, you still want your batting on this one to be 5 by 5. All right. So batting 5 by 5 for block number 8 for the filler block. And I'll tell you after. So then the next one is filler block number 9, and it is our last filler block of this quilt. So this one is that green with starburst. That's what I call it, green. I don't know the names of the fabrics, can you tell? So green with starburst on it, and this one, same thing. In the book, it'll say 4.5 by 4.5 to have your fabric. I cut mine to 5 by 5, and again, it will make it so that it will do that tack down in the quilting. It's the third one, fourth actually. Third is the placement stitch for the main fabric, and the fourth step is the tack down of the main fabric. And if you're cutting it to the size in the book, then it will not do that tack down. And if it shrinks at all, if you have not stabilized your fabric and it shrinks, then it won't be the size that you need. So like I said, I recommend cutting it to 5 by 5 so that you have a little bit of wiggle room, right? And I also do stabilize my fabric. So that is optional on these, but we are going to quilt it, and we might do something else. So I do recommend stabilizing it, and so that it's not going to pull in those stitches. It's going to keep to the size that we need it to be. But again, that part is optional. So this is that green starburst fabric. It's number 9, filler block number 9, and either 4.5 by 4.5 or 5 by 5 is my recommendation. All right. And then again, on the batting, whether you cut the fabric smaller or larger or not, you're going to want your batting to be 5 by 5. All right. 5 by 5 for your batting for filler block number 9. Now on both of these, they are plain. They've got a little design on the fabric, but there isn't a design on them other than the quilting. I'm going to add a design to them. You absolutely do not have to do that. Totally optional, but it's a pretty big size fabric, and I think we could add to it. It was fun in section 3 and section 2. We made so many little changes, and it just makes it fun. So that's my recommendation. That's what I'm going to do, I should say. For my quilt, I'm going to embellish these 2 blocks a little bit by adding a design to them. And I will show you, I'll bring you over to the computer and show you what I'm going to use. And I looked through lots of different designs, and I'll show you some options, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to use, and you can choose to do that or not. Either way is totally fine. So I will bring you over to the computer and show you that. So one thing is, I'm kind of an affiliate with Stitchtopia, and I'm going to show you designs on Stitchtopia that I've chosen for my personalization of my quilt. So if you decide to do that, if you use my little affiliate link, it gives me the tiniest little kickback toward me purchasing my design. So if you're able to, click on this link up here, and it will just put like a little cookie on your computer saying that you're supporting Cristin Creates. So let's go ahead and get started with our little shopping trip. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now, and I want to show you quickly how to do those 2 filler blocks. I think they'll be very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Embellishment Essentials, and I'm going to move it over here a bit once it's done thinking. So it says I'm on my 6x10 hoop. I can see that down here at the bottom, 6x10 hoop. And actually, I think that probably will work very well for today. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. If you're not on your 6x10 hoop or whatever size hoop that you want, use this preferences folder right here. Click on that, and then click on the hoop size you want, and then say okay, and then click on this compass button and click on H. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start by bringing in the quilting design. So I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File, and Falling for Autumn, I want my quilting right there, quilting bundle. And the first one, number 8, is Hobby 7 in a 4x4. So let's see, Hobby 7 right there. Embroidery files, block by block. Pez is what I use for my machine, and we're looking for the 4x4. Right there, 4x4 Hobby 7. Double click on that. So cute. All right, and then while it's here, I'm going to go ahead and just change these really quickly so that the blues and oranges, if you don't change them when you do a color sort, those would all join together. So I'm just going to click outside of the work area, click on 1-1, click on the color, and choose the first color that comes up for me, dark aqua, and then 1-2, click on the color. First color is Blaze. 1-3, click on the color. Second color down is Marine. And 1-4, click on the color, and the second color down is Oriole. And like I've said in all my tutorials, it doesn't matter what color you choose, or I just choose the first and second colors because it's quick and easy. And mine come up as Filtech Glide because that's what I have as my preferred thread brand. All right, and then 1-5, I don't want these to join because one of them is on brown fabric and one's on green fabric. So I'm going to make sure that these 2 are different. So I'm going to click on 1-5, click on the color. The first color that comes up for me is Sprout. Say okay. All right, then I'm going to click outside of the work area because right now we only have one thing selected and we want to make sure we have all 5. So I'm going to click outside of the work area and then click on the stitching of that design, and you can see it brings all 5 designs. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my arrow keys to move it up to the very top of the hoop while making sure it does not go over the hoop line at all. All right, that's the first one. And then I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File, And I'm going to close up hobby 7. And for number 9, oh, it's also hobby 7. Wow, look at that. That's super easy. I'm going to close this, and what I'm going to do, since we've already changed these colors, I'm going to click on this design and I'm going to say Control C to copy it and Control V like victory to paste it. And you can see that now we have 2 of them. It doesn't look like it because it's right on top of that first one, but I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it down. How easy was that? I like that. We're using the same quilting design on both of these for today. All right, so that one's already done as far as the colors. Don't forget though that if we didn't change this to 5, then it would join with this first one and then it won't stop for you to be able to change your thread color. So I'm just going to click on 1-5. First I have to click outside so that nothing is selected, because right now all 5 steps are selected. So I'm going to click outside of the work area and then click on 2-5, click on that color, and I'm going to choose the second color down, which is sea green, so that those won't join. All right, so that is done. That was super easy. I clicked outside so nothing is selected, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Utility Color Sort, and it's thinking, make sure you have these same settings that I have so that you have the same results that I do, and it says it's reduced it by 4 color changes. I'm going to click New View. It'll open another tab. Right now we're on Untitled 1, New View, and everything is together in one design. So I'm going to open that up so that I can check it and make sure it did what I want it to do. So there's our placement for batting, tack down for batting, placement for main fabric, tack down for main fabric. See how those are all joined? And then our 2 quilting designs that are not joined so that it will stop so that I can change my thread color. All right, so that worked out perfectly. So from here, I want to keep this one that has everything in one design, but I'm going to go back to Untitled 1 where they're not together, they're not already joined, and I am going to bring in a couple of designs. So before I do that, I am going to open up a web browser and go to stitchtopia.com. You can go to my link. If you click on this link, it will take you to Stitchtopia, and then you can choose the designs that you want. So the first one that I've decided I'm going to use is called Leaves Are Falling. And there's what you can do is you can go to the top of Stitchtopia, click on Shop, and then on Sale, go to Fall and look through all of the designs there. Or if you know that you want the same one that I'm going to do, I'm going to use that leaves design. I'm just going to type it here in this search bar. So I'm going to say Leaves Are Falling. Click, and you can see that it automatically started finding the designs with those leaves are falling in there. So there's a couple of options. I chose this one. So I've already purchased this. You can purchase this one and join along with me. I'll show you how to do it. Totally up to you. That's for the first one. The second one was in that same category as far as the on sale fall designs. I found it there. So you can either do it that way, or again, you can type in fall leaves and it should come up. So this fall leaves wreath frame, that's the one that I purchased. I think it's really neat for this. So if you look at the designs and where they're going to be, so for that number 8, the one that I chose that has the fall leaves are falling, it's right next to that block that has all the leaves. So how cute will that be? I think that's just perfect for that. That will be so fun. It's literally to the left of the block that has all the leaves on it. And then this one that I chose that has the wreath, that one will be right under the block that has all the leaves. So it just falls right in with our fall theme, and I thought it was really cute, and we'll be able to put in a little monogram letter in there, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And so those are the 2 that I've chosen. Again, totally up to you what you decide. There's lots of different ideas here in this fall category on Stitchtopia, and many other sites as well too, but I thought these were really great. So that's what I've chosen. I've already bought them. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. I don't know if I don't think I've unzipped them yet. So let me find those. So that first one was Leaves Are Falling. I bought quite a few. There's the leaf wreath. Hands Off My Pie, I bought that too. Leaves Are Falling, I think this is it. So it is a zipped file. When you download it from Stitchtopia, it'll be a zipped file. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on it to unzip it, to extract all. Say extract. All right, and then it creates that that folder. So let's see, I'm going to delete that first one, leaves fall. Click delete because I've got the open one, which now is right there. And then I know I want a 4x4 design because it is a 4.5 by 4.5 fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this leaves fall 4, and I'm going to bring it over to the desktop on Brilliance. So you can see it automatically went to the center. I just closed out that folder. So on this one, let's see if we need to resize it. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here. Looks like it's going to be tight, but it looks like it will fit. So I'm going to see just how close I can get it, and then I'll still do an align and distribute just to be sure. So this is our placement and tack down of our batting right here, and so we know that we want it within that size, and it fits perfectly. You could size it down just a tiny bit if you're concerned. Either way, I think I will size it down just a tiny bit so that I've got room on that block, just to make sure. That was easy to do. So I just chose the corners and sized it. All right, and you just bring it in from the corners. It has to be from the corners, otherwise it will distort the design. All right, so that was super easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that align and distribute. I'm going to close this just because I feel like it, click outside, and then I'm going to click on number 1 is that quilting design. I hope I didn't distort. I noticed that those were both clicked on. Let me see. I want to make sure that I didn't distort that, change that sizing as well, because it looked like it was clicked on. Because I would want to only do the embroidery design, if that makes sense. All right, so that looks fine. It's right to the edge of there, so that's perfect. All right, so I'm going to click outside, click on number 1. That's the quilting design, and then I'm going to hold down the control button on my keyboard and click on number 3. That is the embroidery design. All right, and I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute, and I'm going to say Center, Center, Apply. All right, and it moved just the tiniest bit to make sure that it is centered, so that's perfect. All right, that one is done. So then I'm going to bring in the next design, and remember we did our color sort before. I don't want to color sort once we have all of these parts in there. So I'll show you how to bring it over to the part that we did already color sort though. All right, so I'm going to bring in that fall wreath, fall leaves wreath it was called. Let's see. Fall leaf wreath. I think I bought 2 leaf wreaths. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this one I believe. I'm going to double click on that, extract it, say okay, and close this. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this. Well, this one was the zipped file. I closed the wrong one. Doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to delete this zipped one. Since I've already unzipped it, I don't need it. And here's my leaves fall Pez. I think it's in here actually. Here's the wreath, leaves wreath. It goes to the first one, the first spot open on your desktop, just so you know. All right, so I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to shrink this folder down so we can see it. I'm going to click on this leaf wreath and just drag it over to the workspace, and you can see that it opened up there. It doesn't come with the letter, so I'll show you how we'll do the letter. I'm going to close that. So how cute is that? I love that. That's so fun. All right, so I'm going to bring, so this is another thing I want to point out is this is a pretty dense design. So I would recommend stabilizing your fabric. If you don't normally stabilize your fabric, I would on this one because it looks pretty dense. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to drag it down here, get it kind of lined up, sort of, but it doesn't matter too much because we're going to do that align and distribute anyway. And that looks good. I could shrink it down a tiny bit if I wanted, but it really looks fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that utility. Now that I think about it, I wonder if I should put my letter in here first and align and distribute all 3. That would be interesting to see how that works. I'm going to try that. So I'm going to wait to align and distribute this. Could probably do it again after it's already aligned and distributed, but why not try it? All right, so now remember when we did on the bird, we added that tweet tweet. So now we can add in a letter to the center of our wreath if you choose. I think that would be fun. So I'm going to bring this over here so that you can see all of it. So I'm going to go to this create letters button, click on that, and I'm going to put S. I think I'll put in S. I was kind of leaning toward a C, but I'm going to put an S and then hit return. So I'm just typing in the text bar, I'm typing S, and then I'm going to hit return. And you can see that I'm on that block style that comes with Embrilliance Essentials. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring it down here. You can see that I want it a whole lot bigger than that, and I would like a different font. And I haven't already looked at fonts. I'm kind of leaning toward a scripty font. I think that would be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this tab here. And I probably want an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. Let's try a couple and just see what we decide. So there's a bold cursive. I have a feeling that maybe this came with Embrilliance also. Now that I think about it, I don't like that at all. That's for my letter. For your letter, it might look great. That doesn't look great. I don't like the S personally. So I'm going to try a couple of different options. I'm just going to look through here. This might be a nice one. So this is Aurora from Designs by Juju. I think I'll try 1 1/4 and see. Oh, look at that. I don't think I need to keep looking. I really like that a lot. One thing is I might want it a little bigger though. So let me see if there's a 1 1/2. This was Aurora. There's 1 1/2. Let's see. Yep. Better. Done. That was easy. So I'm using Aurora from Designs by Juju. I like that S. That looks great. That's fun. So now what I want to do, I'm going to click outside so that nothing is selected. And I am going to try this. I haven't done this before, where I'm going to try and align and distribute 3 items and just see how that works out. So let's see. I'm going to click on number 2, quilting. I'm going to hit the control button on my keyboard and click this leaf wreath. And then I'm also going to click on number 5, the S, and then I'm going to go to utility, align and distribute. And I'm going to say center, center, and cross my fingers and see if it works. Wow. That was super easy, and it barely moved, like just the tiniest bit. So really you could eyeball this and it would be fine. But align and distribute works so easily. So that was very fun. All right, so those are done. But remember, I have these where if I didn't use the color sorted one, then I'm doing the batting on one and taking it out from the machine and cutting, and doing the batting on the next one, cutting it out, taking it out and cutting. And I'd rather just have those together. So it's super easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on design 3, click the control button. Another way you could do it actually is from here over on the right hand side, just drag over. So I want to get the designs 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to say Control C to copy, and I'm going to go to Untitled 2 because that's the one that has the color sorted version. Sorry, I can see that there's like lines on the video. I think it's because of my light. I'm not sure why, but anyway, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to hit Control V like victory, and see it goes right in where we lined them up. So that was super easy. I'm going to click outside so you can see it better. So we have design 1, which is both of the quilting designs for the filler blocks, and then the personalization, the leaves here. I'm going to close these, the leaves, and then the wreath, and then the personalization, the letter. So how easy was that? That's so fun, and it makes it a personalized different on our quilt. So I think that looks really, really good. I'm very excited about this. So I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm in my quilt. So I'm going to go ahead and name this Filler Blocks 4. All right, because this is section 4. And I think I'll do 6 by 10 actually. 6 by 10, so I remember what hoop size. Filler Blocks 4. Save. And then I'm going to go to Utility, Send to Celery, because my machine is on and ready for playtime. And it says File Sent to Machine. If you don't have a machine that does that, you just plug in a USB stick and save them to your USB stick. All right. all ready for some playtime to do our filler blocks for section 4. how are you doing with your goal? I love hearing about your goals and how you're doing with your adventures and cleaning out your craft room and working ahead on projects or catching up on projects from before. Whatever your goal is, I love to hear about it. So mine is weight loss, and I told you that I ate really badly last Sunday, and so I'm giving myself a break from the scale for a few days while I work off that any extra weight that I may have gained, probably gained, I should say. So I have not weighed myself, but I did a good run this morning, and it was in New Hampshire. So I was born in New Hampshire. Kind of funny. This California girl was born in New Hampshire, and we only lived there for less than a year, so I don't know anything about it, but I do love New England, especially the homes in New England. I love how unique they are. So it was fun to do this run and see the gorgeous fall trees and fall foliage. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that, and it's working toward my iFit badge on my iFit trainer. It's actually a Nordic track trainer, and so I enjoyed my run. It was a hard run. I think it was like 2.25 miles or something like that, and it was more than what the trainer had planned on. And so within the time frame that the workout was, I ran well enough that I got a little extra time than what he had. So that felt good. It was hard though. It was definitely hard. I don't know why. Cycling is so much easier for me than running, but I'm doing it. I'm doing my part. So I got dressed this morning, and my clothes were big. So and I'm wearing winter clothes from last season. So whatever weight I gained on Sunday, it wasn't too bad. I'm sure of that. And I'm working hard on it. I'm staying away from sugar and doing all that, stop eating by 9 p.m. and all the things that I was doing at the beginning of the school when we started our Falling for Autumn. So I'm working it. I'm trying hard. How are you doing with your goal? Share some information. And my shirt today, this is a really old one, and it looks pretty old. Like the shirt itself looks pretty old, but I really like this one. It's very old. Like I said, I made it a bunch of years ago. I think I probably made this in 2015, but it's still one of my favorites, and I really, really like it. The shirt itself is from Amazon. It's got a hood, and it comes in several different colors, and it is a winter shirt. I'll add a link up here if you decide that you want to purchase a shirt to embroider on. You can click that link above, and it will bring you to this shirt. It's a great one to embroider on. I really enjoy it. The design, I have to think about where I got this. It was an older one. I think it might be Planet Applique, actually. But I will check. I'm sure I still have that information because I've had this shirt forever. But it's a great shirt to embroider on, and I need to get some more and have them not look quite so worn. But it is cold here today. It is like 22-mile-an-hour winds and a high of 56 degrees. 56. And there's snow up on the ski mountain. Oh boy, I'm not ready. I'm so not ready for winter, but I'm wearing my winter clothes and feeling pretty cozy in them. So anyway, I'll share information about the design. And like I said, there's the link that I provided, and also underneath this video in the video notes, there will be a direct link as well.